A snow-covered battlefield. Muskets. Lots and lots of muskets. Artillery. Fancy uniforms. Napoleon from 1811. You put all these elements together and you get the greatest battle in the history of battles. Guys, my name is Apollo, and today we've got another battle in Napoleonic Total War 3 7.5. That's right, guys. They released a new patch. This came out the 1st of October to Napoleonic Total War 3. And it's, you know what, guys? I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say it right now, right here. You can quote me on it. This mod, best mod out of any mod for a Total War game. I know, that's a bold statement, but I'm going to explain why. So this mod, not only does it add a bunch of new factions, it adds a bunch of new units, maps, but it also changes the gameplay of Napoleon completely compared to Napoleon, the vanilla of the game. It adds a ton of realistic gameplay that makes it feel like you're actually time traveling, going back to a beautiful time when men wore fantastic uniforms and slaughtered each other. This is a great mod. And not only, the mod, they still update it. They have been updating this mod for a long time. They didn't just make the mod, do a couple patches, and like, here you go, here's a mod. Even if they did do that, the mod would be fantastic, but they continue to improve it, to upgrade it, to add factions, to add units, and because of that, I have to give them the Apollo seal of approval, the Apollo victory of mods. This is the mod of mods. And you're probably, some of you guys are probably thinking, but Apollo, I don't have time for hour-long battles. Well, guess what, child? Little kid, little boy, you can go back to Warhammer and let the real men wage war, okay? This is a real man's mod, all right? And this is gonna be a great battle. So on a more serious note, here we are on the battlefield. Okay, so yeah, this is a 4 versus 4. We're playing on a Russian map, so that's pretty cool. And look, we have Russia right here, but with a P. Prussia. Okay, anyways, so yeah, 4 versus 4. I believe we have 2 Prussian armies. We've got the UK, the United Kingdom from 1815. And then over here, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, guys, because you're going to see why. So this faction is the Confederation of the Rhine, okay? So I'll explain more about this faction pretty soon. The reason this is weird is because, first off, they're fighting with the British and the Prussians. And who are they fighting? They are fighting the French. They're taking on the French. Now, the French actually formed the Confederation of the Rhine. This is actually a client state of Napoleon. All right, so yeah, for them to just like, oh, you know what? We're formed by Napoleon, but let's just go to war against them. It's like, dude, we just formed you. Like, how could you go to war with them? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is this little faction here didn't last long. It was formed in 1806 and ended in 1813. So it didn't last long, but yeah, there's a little backstory on that. So yeah, anyways, so they're taking on 3 armies, 3 French armies and 1 Portugal army. So yeah, I like this. I believe every French general is a different one too. So you got some famous French generals on the battlefield. And here's Napoleon. Look at him. He rides with just a fellow man. Look at him. He's just like, yes, I am ready to bring my enemies are many, my equals are none. Actually, he's got a lot of equals, man. Napoleon, you're awesome, dude. All right, anyways, yeah, we don't really need to go into army comp detail too much. It's more about positioning. It's more about the actual, like, the chess play of the battle, which is really important. But we've got a huge mass force here from Prussia. They are all using the road. Fun fact, if you march in column formation and use the road, sorry about that, I hit my mic there, you can actually travel quicker rather than being stretched out or not using the road. So again, that's another gameplay mechanic that I absolutely love about this mod. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful mod that brings it to your, like, this mod is God level when it comes to bringing historical accuracy and just the historical vibe of really capturing history in a game on a virtual battlefield. I mean, this is it, guys. We're living the dream. What a time to be alive. I know, it's great. And we're probably never going to experience anything like this when it comes to historical accuracy anytime soon. Just because the fact that, dirty normies who want to do quicker battles. Like, oh, quicker battle. No. You know what I say to those people? Unsub. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Just stay. Hang around. You don't have to go. I'm just kidding. Please. Anyways, I really do enjoy realistic combat. And an hour is, I mean, compared to history, an hour is like a second on the battlefield. I mean, these battles could last days. But an hour, I think, is a good length because, you know, you get up, you get on the game, you get ready, you build your army, and you fight for your empire. And say you only have an hour to play. Well, if it's a really good battle and you just do one battle, I mean, I don't know. Whenever I play a really long battle and I finish it, I'm never like, dang it, I wanted to play more battles. No, it's more like, man, that was really fulfilling. Like, I had a fun time, and I'm excited for the next day where I can play another battle. Anyways, if we look here, the French have moved up a lot of hussars and other cav units behind this building. Looks like they're going to try to set up an ambush here. So we got the French from 1811. And I don't know if the Prussian forces realize this, because remember, guys, in this game, you don't see the entire enemy army at the start. You have to scout out their forces. I love this site right here, too. You got the trees marching down the road. Look at them just like, all right, get ready, men. We do have some Portuguese marching this way. So here we go. Oh, look at this. Is this not glorious? It's just, all right. So we've got some Cazadores running down the road to meet the Prussian lines. And they're already going to break column formation and get into line formation. Now we got a cav charge, and the Prussians able to stand their ground and get some pop shots here. And they're going to completely just stop this cav charge right in their face. Look at that, just carnage here. They were able to hold their ground against a pretty impressive cav charge. And now the French ambush here is not really paying off. And now the Prussians got to get ready for the Portuguese, who are lining up here ready to open fire. The Prussians are, oh wait, the French are going for another charge. Look at that. Oh my God. So we got the French cav going in while the Prussians were trying to reform to take on the Portuguese. And here comes Portugal inching even closer, getting really close to the Prussian lines. Now, there are going to be some sound glitches, guys. Whenever you do 4 versus 4 battles, you can't see that. You can't hear anything. I remember someone saying there's a fix to that. You just got to do something. But, yeah, pretty unfortunate. But it'll fix itself after a while. It doesn't last forever. But, yeah, you definitely hear the sound issues. Look at that. Look at that. We've got a dark battlefield here. Just look at the point of view. Seeing the smoke and the musket flash. You know, just the fire flash in the background. That is just so... It's just, look, that's just... Come on. It doesn't get better than that. This mod is bringing us to the heights of historical gaming, all right? Now, of course, I can't say that because as time goes on, technology is going to get better, and hopefully gaming companies don't become all streamlined, going for the common denominator, you know, type of companies that actually put heart and soul into the games. But the Portuguese are starting to waver here a little bit. Oh, look at this little icon. Building, allies capture building. Oh, okay. Now remember this. Okay, let me zoom out here and then just kind of show you what else is going on. So we got more troop movement this way. We actually look like there's some engagements here. We got a light dragoon unit from the United Kingdom taking some casualties there. A good amount too. If we head down all the way down this river on this side, we do have some more French kind of lining up here. Some French infantry just kind of protecting the river. And the reason they're protecting the river, actually, well, obviously they've got to capture the buildings. So real quick, let me just show you on the battlefield where these buildings are located. So there's one right here on the British side, and then in the center we've got a building here that basically it's what everyone is fighting for. That's why there's such a cluster, because this building right here, you notice that there's, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, but these two in the center, more specifically the one we're looking at here, is the most important one. And that's why there's such carnage going on here right now, because they are brutally fighting for dominance over this this star. And I believe it's worth, I can't see on the map, hold on. The star is only worth 1 point. Wow, okay. So actually the stars in the back are worth 4 points, but still, you want to capture it. If you can capture both these buildings in the center, it's GG. GG, game over. Okay, so the Prussians, now it looks like they're really clumped up here though, but actually the gameplay of Napoleonic Total War 3 is that the thicker lines you have, the morale is actually better because the troops, you know, they feel confident. They're like, our lines are thick, you know, we got healthy numbers. Now they're just kind of moving over this way to take on the Prussian lines over here. And also, guys, this is an hour-long battle, so I forgot to mention this, but get your snacks and drinks, sit back, and enjoy the show. Another great thing about this mod is that we can really just sit back and enjoy it. It's not about how quick you can micro, but rather just positioning and tactics. It's more about just having the troops at the right place at the right time, which is sure, it's not micro skill, but it's definitely battle knowledge, like strategic skill that is going into these battles. But Portugal is actually moving up some troops around the flank. You can see they're pushing around here. We do have, oh, we got a cannon. We got some cannons set up close by. I wonder if they're going to limber them up, or unlimber them, I should say, and try to put some suppressing fire. Here's some screaming, though. I wonder if anyone's going in for a bayonet charge. It doesn't look like it, but the British forces are pushing this way, and he's already pushed up some King German Legion light foot, who are eager to take back their homes, fighting for the UK to avenge their lands and bring down the French. Now we've got some sappers over here putting down some stakes, protecting the artillery against frontal cav charges. This is not the most ideal position for this French artillery. You can see it's like the slope is really protecting the advancement of the British. But here's the thing. Oh, guys, look at this. Is this not beautiful? Is this just not the most beautiful thing? Look at this uniform, too. Look at these guys. 2nd Somersetshire. Yeah, it's not Shire. I know, I learned that the hard way. Look at these guys. The white hats. The white trim. Like, that is so fresh. But yeah, they're pushing up. Look at that. They are really clumped up here. They need to quickly get into line formation. The French have solid just positioning over the British, but I love the aggressive play. Also, he's got his ally pushing over on the, what is this, the right side of this building, kind of supporting his British ally. Look at the thick lines he's going with. Wow, that's thick lines. He is going to reposition them, though. And oh my god, the sun, the way it's glaring down, the dark battlefield, the snow on the battle, just fantastic. Some more troops going ham here. So lots of pretty professional line infantry for the French. And they're going to be taking on their most hated enemy, the British, as they continue to reposition here. They really need to just pick a spot and go. We've got more troops over here defending the flank. He's got his King German Legion. I think this was the original unit that was charging forward. Now, if we head back over to the other side, we got the Confederation of the Rhine. They're now actually, are they falling back? No, well, they're not falling back, but they're actually moving towards the center fight, which is really interesting. I think they're trying to come over this way and try to, I mean, obviously this battle is pretty much under control of the French, unless the French lose this engagement, which so far, it looks like they're winning. They got the artillery just firing right into the British lines, and oh, man, this is so good. This is so good. But yeah, we're already, can you believe it, guys? We're already almost 20 minutes in. 8 minutes away from 20 minutes. That's insane. Like, it's just been going by so fast because it's so just entertaining. It's like basically oh wait, hold the thought there, guys. We've got a charge from Portugal going into Prussian lines, and Prussia is getting beat back. They're getting pushed back, guys. Portugal did a nice flanking maneuver. Look at that, right in the tree line, and they're causing a lot of havoc for these Prussian line units. And oh my god, they just shot at their own artillery piece. Oh, look at the 40th Musketeer here with the purple, or the purplish pink trim around their uniforms. That is great. That's fantastic. Here we go. Fire! Nice. And some good hits on these Cazadores, but they're still got the flank on them. But Prussia's so concentrated on this flank that their center lines are crumbling. And look at this. They're starting to fall back. They're falling back pretty rapidly. Now, this battle, this mod, and these battles, they're so like, just because you have a victory doesn't mean, like, an early, like, for example, Portugal's doing a pretty good job here, but just because he's pushing back the Prussians does not mean this is going to be a cakewalk. Prussia could easily, I've seen it so many times in this mod. Here comes a charge though. Glorious charge, trying to take out the artillery, and the Prussians are going to countercharge, try to protect the artillery. But I think the Portuguese should have a strong enough number to hold back the countercharge. But yeah, just because you see your opponent falling back, they could easily come back and destroy you. Like, that's the beauty of this mod, is the fact that it's long. It's a long struggle, guys. I mean, this video is an hour long. The French are outnumbered here, but they've got nice positioning. They got thinner lines. Oh my god, I just cheesed so hard. This new update to the mod is pretty beautiful. I just hope it makes it more stable. I often have some crashing issues, which I might need to pause the video every once in a while and stop the recording, because if it does crash during, like, while I'm recording, the complete file is corrupted and I can't use it and I have to start all over, which you have no idea how many times that has happened for hour-long battle videos. But here comes some breakings. The King German Legion, they're fleeing from the battle. And let's get a bird's eye view. Look at this, guys. Does this not make you cheese? Like, this makes me cheese so hard. This is just a pretty bloody engagement here. It's so far, it's a stalemate. I mean, the French are starting to break from the center. Portugal might want to fill in these gaps. Portugal is also starting to fall back. But again, Portugal is having a lot of luck over here. And you can see the Prussians have reformed. And like I said, the Prussians are right back in this battle. Sure, they lost some ground near the building, but his ally is still hanging on to it. Or that might be him as well. It's hard to tell who's allies and who's not, because, you know, a couple players are playing as Prussia. But you can see, we need to get some bird's eye view of the fights, because they're just so, like, epic in scale. These battlefields are massive. And now we got some troops breaking. Let's see, who is that from? That is the Prussian lines breaking. So Portugal, again, just causing a lot of issues for the Prussians here, and causing them to fall back behind the river. Not completely, but he's starting to just slowly step back behind the river. We do have some reinforcements coming in, musketeer veterans. So he's sending up some veteran soldiers already, which might be a little bit of a warning sign there. Like, that might be a big deal. But I hear some screaming because we have a cav charge coming in. The glorious cav charge through the French lines. And then this is the French hussars trying to support their infantry as they are overwhelmed by the British lines. And the British have also, no, the British have formed squared here. I thought the British sent up their own cav, but look at this massive break. It's just because of that really just risky move there by the French. Now their cav, they are breaking, but they caused a lot of issues for the British lines. So let's go through the smoke here and try to get a bigger picture of this beautiful fight. It's gorgeous, wonderful. But yeah, the British are now pretty occupied of just maintaining their lines, trying to prevent the soldiers from completely breaking. Just get back into the fight, stand your ground. The French cav is broken. Oh wait, no, the French have sent up even more Lancer cav. Send in the Lancers. There they go, coming in to protect their artillery. And sure enough, they do break the very aggressive bayonet charge from the UK. But yeah, things are getting pretty sloppy over here. Just so no battle line, just getting really, really sloppy. Portugal. Oh, look at this. He's going to charge through the gap here. The French are charging through the gap. They're going to try to get behind these King German Legion unit. But the King German Legion, they're trying to fall back, but they're also getting shot from the back from the Portuguese line infantry. So fantastic, fantastic. They do form square, which is smart. Look at that. Look at that. Now they're going to move on to the Prussians, because obviously they did not form square. And the British lines are just trying to maintain this fight because they did take the hill. But we'll see how this progresses later on. Over on the other side, we've got the Confederation of the Rhine now supporting his British ally and putting down some suppressing fire on the French. And the French is just like, you traitors, you betrayed us. How could you? We formed you. When your creation attacks, when your creation betrays you. But now we got more French lines. So it looks like another epic battle is about to commence over here that has not yet started. Yeah, so the building has been captured over here by, I believe, the French forces. Unfortunately, they're invisible. I think it's just because they need to get a little bit closer to reveal the units. We also have, from the Confederation of the Rhine, they're sending over a 6-pounder foot artillery. So they're going to head that over and probably support their line infantry that's going toe-to-toe with the French. So if we head back over here, look at this. Just look at this. Like, this is just madness right here. The French cav starting to break a decent amount. We actually had Wow, a cav charge from the Confederation of the Rhine. They went in for a charge. Did not really see it. Here comes more of their cav. Unfortunately, that was just a really surprise attack there. So surprising that I didn't even see it, and I'm not even playing in the battlefield. I'm just commentating over stuff. So yeah, that's a nice sneaky move there by the Confederation of the Rhine, trying to just give them a taste of their own medicine. Now we got some horse guard from the UK coming in and just cleaning up these Portuguese, and the Portuguese now breaking from the battlefield, but the French still have a solid number of troops here. Also, let's not forget that Portugal is still going strong over on this side. So they still have very healthy numbers. This is just an absolute bloodbath for the capture of this building. And we are 41 minutes left in this battle replay. So we still have a lot of fight here, but the Portuguese deciding to fall back. And that's that's the crazy thing about this mod, is the fact that we've seen so much fighting already. We've seen so many units break from the battlefield, but yet there's still so much more to see. Now, this is a 4 versus 4, so they tend to be longer because of the amount of troops on the battlefield. But still, it's just so... look at all the reserves. Look at all this. Now we got another cav charge over here. We got the 6 Dragoons, who... well, they're not charging. They're just moving forward. And they're really just claiming this territory. They're taking the hill. That was a very impressive move by the British. But they still have a lot of work to do. And you can see the French, they pulled a little tactical... I wouldn't call it a retreat. More of a falling back. Sure, they lost a good chunk of the hill. Oh, there we go. So the French alliance, they have taken, there we go. The Portuguese have taken this building, which is going to be a nice stronghold and helping the Portuguese hold on to this one. You can see the Portuguese have now reformed their lines, and the British, this is so cool. The British are coming over now to engage this Portuguese line. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more battle replays of this one in the future. It's just so good. It's so refreshing. Back over here at the river crossing, Prussia still being pushed back, but it looks like this is where they're going to stand their ground. We actually have some French? Wait a second. Wait, I did not see this French maneuver here, but yeah, we actually have a ton of French forces maneuvering. When did they send these forces over here? I thought it was mostly just Portugal over here, but they're actually now pushing over. And this, they could capture this ruins, which is worth a point. So that might be what they're going for. It's just a quick little sneaky capture, and the rest of their forces are going to kind of stand around and help protect it. We do have the Prussians pushing forward. Hopefully, I haven't been mixing up the Prussians and Portugal. I am dyslexic, so words that sound kind of start with the same letter, that sound kind of similar, Portugal, Prussia. I mean, they're not exactly sounding super similar, but you get what I mean. Again, hopefully, if you guys have been subscribed to me a long time, then you're probably used to it at this point. But yeah, Prussia firing down on the French defenses. And the French, holy crap, guys, the French have committed. We've got the old god. Look at these guys. Oh man, who's this? Who's this? We got this this unit. I don't know what they. It's all in French. I don't know how to pronounce any of this. But yeah, nice little stand here of the French as they try to take strategic locations. I mean, just look how grand this battlefield is. More Prussian troops pushing up the center. I think they're really going to try to... I think they might just, like, try to go through the... I don't know. I'm thinking they might go into the forest here. Like, what he could do with these Prussian troops, right, is that he could go through the forest and then get behind the French over here and attack them on another front. Or he can push this way and then get behind the Portuguese who are taking on the British. Now, the British have put themselves in a little bit of a pickle. This is really good maneuvering here by the French and the Portuguese. Because what they did is that, yeah, they lost this section of the battlefield, but what the French did is he's fallen back here, and then the Portuguese have also fallen back here. So it's kind of like this death valley where you can see the British have formed two lines fighting back to back essentially and just trying to hold on to this territory. Now we've got some cav, the 6 Dragoons kind of breaking through. I'm not sure what they're going to be going for, but they are flanking around. We are getting some lag there. Sorry about that, guys. But they're going to try to get around. Most likely go for the artillery or honestly just attack the backside of the infantry. Now, another thing to remember in this mod is that not a lot of units can form square. Only the elite units can form square. So you actually have a lot of units that normally in vanilla Napoleon you can form square with like the simple line infantry, but in this, only the elites. So that's one thing to, you know, that's one thing to note, because oftentimes people would be like, wow, these guys are noob players. Why didn't he just form square? Well, it's because he couldn't. So that's, you got to really watch out. You got to have like reserves like the French are doing over here. He's got some reserve forces to protect the backs of their line, so the cav is not able to get a clean charge without any kind of resistance. But the British are just kind of playing cat and mouse game here, just falling back. Let's head back over here where this battle, holy crap, guys. You know, there's so much going on that I can't get it all, unfortunately. But the Confederation of the Rhine, this main line battle has commenced, and seems like it's been going on for a good amount of time. Because we see a lot of casualties, lots of dead cav, lots of dead horses. So Confederation of the Rhine now going in for a countercharge, going after some French, just a small French line who have pierced through the center of the Confederation of the Rhine. Now here comes Karl Wilhelm von Funk. Awesome. So he's coming in to support the center. The French are now sending in some dragoons. Oh my god, we got a death. Allied general has been... Communism will prevail. Fantastic. Not today, communism. Not today. So the French are now falling back. They were able to hold on to that center and do a counter cav charge. And the Confederation of the Rhine now falling back. So the balance of power greatly in favor of the French alliance. But again, the balance of power is a little buggy in Napoleon Total War. But let's just get some bird's eye view here of these fights. And look at this. The British continue to try to out-extend the French. And the French are constantly having to maneuver their men around to kind of, you know, to mirror this movement. Back over here, we've got more bayonet charges, it looks like. We got, oh yeah, the Prussians able to hang on, but both units break there, the Prussians and Portuguese. And the Portuguese, look at this. The British have also maneuvered around this way, but the British are starting to break here, guys. I think they're kind of stretching themselves a little too thin, trying to take on the Portuguese, but now the Portuguese are surrounded, even though the British have, you know, lost many casualties in doing a tactic like this. Yeah, the Portuguese, let's kind of zoom out here. Yeah, oh, nice. So the Portuguese lost this building, and Prussia has now taken it. You can see the Prussia, like I said, guys, Prussia coming back, fighting the good fight, and turning this one around, because Portugal, they do not have a proper line here. Very unorganized, could be very devastating. So back over here, the French still holding on to this side. So I love this little flanking force of the French. This could be the game changer right here. This could actually be like this movement, this tactic by the French could be just, like I said, the game changer. It was just a really sneaky maneuver, and now he's got a huge force here putting pressure on the Prussians. Now the Prussians were able to maneuver a lot of troops over to this side as well to try to counter this French flank. So this battle is just all over the place. I mean, look at the mini-map. It's got this like U shape of just death, U shape of battle. Let's head back over here where the French, they got some Swiss line infantry up on this hill mixed in with the normal line infantry of the French. Just kind of putting down suppressing fire. Really good hill like vantage point to take on the Confederation of the Rhine. Now the Confederation, because they are losing this battle, they've got to form this L shape, and it's not looking good. Like the French seem to have this under control. They seem to be doing very well. I was a little nervous for the French when the British started to take this hill, but the fact that the British really pushed themselves so thin to try to, you know, get through here, which they still have some line infantry, as you can tell, which are maneuvering around, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for the French. They're just going to be able to just counter those moves, mirror their moves, and then meet them. Honestly, I might even advance. If I was the French, advance and just take out the British while they're, you know, pushing forward. Hey, look at this. There's the officer. Look at him. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, so let's head back over here, where it looks like this is where most of the juicy fighting is happening. And it seems like the battle's starting to phase down a little. It's going to sizzle down a little bit. We are about 30 minutes. Yeah, so we got 32 minutes left. So we're about halfway through the battle. And it feels like it's been like 5 minutes. Like it's just been so exciting of a fight that's been going by so fast, which is always great doing, you know, commentaries on these videos. These longer battles, sometimes it can be pretty tough to do commentary over, just because, you know, you got a lot of things to say. You got to stay, you know, stay entertaining, keep the commentary flowing. With this, it's pretty easy because there's so much going on. Sometimes in battles, just, you know, behind the scenes little comment here. Sometimes in battles when there's nothing really going on, it's hard, like, to come up with things to say. You know, you got to, like, talk about uniforms or something. Like, oh, this is a nice uniform, as I wait for an army to march forward and finally attack someone. But no, there's just constant stuff going on, which is really awesome. Anyways, that's why we keep missing stuff, because I need to pick up the pace here and try to keep up with the battle. Now, the French are pushing with a sizable force here, going after the Confederation of the Rhine. Now, the Confederation doing a last-minute maneuver. I think he's just reforming his lines a little bit better here as he gets ready to take on the French. There is a unit of cav over here. One cav, the 6 Dragoons. We've been seeing these guys all over the place, but they've now marched behind the French lines, and they might try to, well, basically, they might try to engage this unit here. Now, there's a couple French units sitting reserved, so it looks like the French have this well under control. The only way I see the British being able to be, you know, effective with this cav unit is that if the French are busy looking somewhere else and they don't notice the cav charge from the United Kingdom. But the thing is, like, even if he just sits here with this cav unit, that's a tactic. You're keeping the French constantly aware of this cav unit. But let's see what they go. They're pushing forward. Now, the French lines are also pushing forward. And there goes the Confederation of the Rhine, opening fire at their advancing troops. Opening fire. Alright, so the French need to get going. And, okay, so wow. The British, this is great tactics here by the British. Basically, they're just making this difficult for the center lines for the French. I mean, they're doing such a good job of having a very thin, depleted force here, but still keeping the French on their toes and keeping them distracted as the Prussians now advance. Got 3 columns over here of musketeer veterans advancing towards the French position, which could cause some trouble. Now, I guess oh wait, here's a cav charge, but the cav breaks instantly. Looks like they're going after some Portuguese, or no, I'm sorry, going after artillery piece or some Prussia unit. But Prussia's still fighting the good fight over here, and now France is actually pushing forward here. They still control this area, they still control the building, but there's still a lot of Prussian reserves. In fact, they have so many reserves, they're sending 3 units of line infantry to support the British, who are still fighting the good fight over on this side. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out over here with this little flanking force of Prussians, because now France is having to send over more line infantry. And this is a thin line, guys. I mean, these guys have seen a lot of action. So this is not necessarily going to hold. And plus, if the British continue, look, they're still flanking around, still just causing the French to just keep them on their toes. The Confederation of the Rhine making a bold stand here. The British are now pushing up some cav. Did we get a cav engagement? No, we did not. The French are doing everything they can to catch up to this cav, but it just seems like because they're pretty quick cav, the Dragoons, they're not as fast as Hussars, but they're pretty fast, able to stay out of reach of the French Lancers and the French 20E Dragoons. So now the British continue to advance, but oh, look at this, the Prussians are going in for a charge. We got some Dragoons and Confederation of the Rhine. They're sending up some cav support. Look at that. So they're sending up cav support to help the British cav, and now the British cav might actually fully commit here into this cav battle. The French are now sending back line infantry because they realize their cav out of nowhere is now outnumbered because of the reinforcements of the Confederation of the Rhine. And look at that, they're chasing down the French cav. Great move there by the United Kingdom and allies. And now we've got more cav coming in. Look at this. This is huge, guys. This might cause a huge chain rout for the French lines here. It's so crazy how fast you think you are in control in this game, and then out of nowhere, some cheeky moves by your opponents, and your entire army is breaking. So he's forming square. He's doing everything he can. Come on, fire at them, boys. Fire at them. Woo. There you go. So good volley there, but I don't think it's enough to break the British. And now the British are going after the other line infantry units that cannot form square. And the French, this French flank is crumbling in a matter of seconds. So quickly. And now the Confederation of the Rhine can advance forward without... Look, this entire French line, this French flank, completely defeated by Cav. Cav, okay, so in Napoleon Vanilla, Cav is pretty easy to counter. Yes, Cav can still be very effective, but since the fact that almost everyone can form square, it's hard to be effective with Cav. But since there's weaker, vulnerable units that can't form square, in this mod, Cav is extremely effective here. And you'll see armies with a lot more Cav in their ranks because of how effective they are. Now the French are falling back to the safety of the building here, just because of those just crazy moves there by the British. And now look at this, guys. This is a mess. So Portugal still in the fight. I believe a lot of these units were kind of in the tree line. Let's not forget there's a pretty intense battle over here going on. But as this continues on, it just seems like the Prussians are doing a pretty good job of holding. Now they've got their artillery shelling the French position. I don't think the French have any artillery on this side. The balance power is still in favor of the French alliance though. But take that balance bar with a grain of salt, because Napoleon balance bar is really weird and funky and just, it glitches all the time. So yeah, don't read into that too much. But I would say, I mean, I could see why the French still have a pretty solid advantage, mostly because of this flank right here for this building. But there's still a lot of French troops, and the Prussians, well, the Prussians, they've got a decent amount. This is going to be quite the bloodbath. I mean, whoever wins this engagement between the French and the Prussians, I mean, they're barely going to win. They're going to have, you know, very depleted units. The Prussians are now actually turning back. He's sending back his musketeer veterans over to the other side. I think he's going to help out against the Portuguese. The Portuguese are retreating from the battlefield. So the Portuguese are pulling out of there. They don't like that situation, which is smart. I love that. The player's not willing to just give up. You know, they're not just going to be like, all right, I'm done. Let me just throw in my units. They're going to actually do what they can to save their units, try to turn this battle around. But yeah, the Prussians are doing a pretty good job of sending over reinforcements, and they're going to probably do some pretty heavy damage to the French lines who are protecting this ruins building. So let's head back over here where the Confederation of the Rhine now continues to advance. And this is still a delicate situation because the French have the, you know, defensive locations here. Even though they crushed that French flank, and you can see the aftermath over here, just absolute massacre. They still have a hard task ahead of them of trying to take this defense. I mean, this is a solid line of French troops who also have the building. Look at that. I just love that. Seeing these guys in the background as they push forward. You know you have a good Napoleonic mod when you have the Confederation of the Rhine. Like, you know you're in good hands. Like, this is great. This is too good. But now they're going to maneuver a little bit and probably outflank them. The British have also continued to fall back and push around. But the Portuguese also chasing off some British. So maybe the Portuguese, what they're doing is actually marching over to support, take out this British flank, because they are causing some issues for the French, who are trying to concentrate. I mean, they've got a two-front battle going on right now, and it's hard for them to focus on one fight. And we all know how, you know, trying to manage two fronts in a Total War game is very difficult, and you won't be as effective if, you know, you're commanding just one front. So there we go, Confederation of the Rhine flanking around. And hopefully they're going to put some suppressing fire here. Got some line infantry. Look at this fancy line infantry. Look at that. I love it. I love how they're not perfectly matching, because they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Unless they all have like fresh uniforms. Or if they're like in a super elite unit. There we go. Nice flanking fire here. Beautiful. So again, this battle is all about flanks, guys. All about flanks. So now the French are kind of curling this way. So if we look at the points here, real quick, if we just take a second and look at the points. We've got 4 points for the British, obviously. They don't have anyone in the building, but yeah, 4 points there. I mean, no one's taking it. This building right here is pretty much still in control of the French, but I've got a good feeling that the Prussians are going to be able to take down this French flank. I think it's going to be in vain because he's sending back his elite troops over here. Oh, no, he's sending them back to the French. They're going back and forth. They can't make up their minds. So they're actually going back to take on the French there. But regardless of the veterans or not, you know, like the Prussians are going to be, look at the French are even falling back here, and the Prussians are advancing. So they're obviously a little bit concerned of this Prussian side. So this is still a really close matchup. I can't really pick who's going to win this engagement. What I do know is that God favors the side that has the most artillery. And right now, the Prussians have the most artillery. By the way, that's a Napoleon quote. I was paraphrasing it, by the way. It's not exactly what he said. But look at the smoke around this this farmhouse. Oh my God, this one's really heating off here, guys. This is intense. Look at this. Beautiful. Fantastic. It's also, oh nice, the British have fully committed over here. Finally, they're going to help their allies. So what great tactics here. What great teamwork. Really good stuff. So the British waited, patiently waited for the Confederation of the Rhine to win this battle over here, then march over and flank around, and then the British move in. But unfortunately, the Portuguese are closing in, and they're now gonna be able to support their allies. This is what's really important about this game, is that even though you've got depleted units, if you're losing a battle, the Portuguese were like, hey, you know what? I'm losing this fight. Let's fall back and see if there's a better opportunity here for my forces. And sure enough, here it is. But they've got to get firing here. Boom. There we go. So the British are outnumbered, and they're taking on. They're fighting a two battlefront. This is not good. The British they kind of got in a tricky situation here, and more Portuguese just kind of falling back. Maybe they're. You know what? They might be going for this building. Oh, I see. The British sent Wellington to take the building. So that is why they're pushing up infantry to deal with Wellington as he hovers around that building. Oh, wait, the cav charge! The 6th Dragoons, the heroes of the Broken, coming out of nowhere and just obliterating the Prussian flank. My God, we have seen this unit literally everywhere on the battlefield. Now, I don't know if there's multiples of this unit or this is just one unit, but this unit alone is winning this battle. Fantastic use of cav, and he just saved a good chunk of his line infantry. Sure, these guys most likely won't survive the battle anyways, but now they can continue to fire down to the French flank. And look at this, we just got the notification. Building has been captured. Now that's another point here for the Confederation of the Rhine, the British alliance, and now the Prussians are closing in. We are down to 20, just little less than 20 minutes left in the battle, and it looks like the British are kind of turning this one around. The Prussians, look at them as they advance forward on the battlefield in that just beautiful formation, cutting down the French. And the French, they're in a bad spot, really bad spot. But again, let's not forget about the French army over here. There's still a lot of forces. As long as there's troops, there's hope that they can turn this one around. But you can see finally, first time, I think the balance of power is actually pretty on for this battle. It's not glitching out. It's finally back to even. So the French have really lost some ground there. And it's up to this French army. You can see he pushed up some units to capture the building. Because we're at the phase of the battle where it's coming to a close, right? The battle's coming to a close, and they now have to take points. They got to take points of the buildings. So that's why you'll see forces starting to move at random places, preparing to take the points that they can protect or try to advance and take away points from the other team. But the French, they're getting ready to fire back here against the Prussians. Oh, it's beautiful. I love that. Great volley there. Great volley. Oh my God, look at this. Massive bayonet charge. The French are just getting executed over here, surrounded by everyone. The British, even though they just have 3 lines here, they're starting to break as well, but that's all right. They did their job. They distracted a good chunk of French lines on this side and bought time for the Prussians to just hammer in and just get some great kills. And this is a bad scene right here when you form square because you're surrounded. And oh my God, look how close they're getting. Like, surrender, put down your arms. I mean, this is a good time to surrender. And this is a fair time. There's no way you're going to fight your way out of this. Just put down your arms. Surrender, French. Do it. You got to if you want to keep your lives. They don't surrender, though. They never surrender. Except in World War II. A general has been killed. Enemy general has been killed. Now the French are fleeing after that just one volley from the Prussians. And the French defense here that have been holding this hill this entire game has now been defeated. Defeated by the hands of the Confederation of the Rhine. How could they betray the French? The French is just like, we conquered you once. We'll conquer you again. Now the French are fleeing, and it's just a circle of death. And now the forces are free to maneuver to the French army over here. So I think, well, actually, let's not forget about this over here on this side. We actually have some Prussian cav going after, oh man, going after Portugal, who is still trying to take out the general over here on this side. So yeah, he's just gonna keep supporting that general. Obviously, he's trying to break the Portuguese. I think this is the last of the Portuguese army. This unit right here, who's going to capture this base, which again is under the command of Wellington. He's capturing it. So this cav is going to come over and support him in that fight. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. So the rest of the force is now moving over to the French side. Now the balance of power is looking pretty good for the British alliance, right? But there's still hope. Like I said, I'm not going to call this battle over. It's far from over. The French still have troops. I mean, we all saw it in this video. We saw the cav of the Confederation of the Rhine, the British, and the Prussians obliterate like 5 units of French lines. Anything could happen like that again, but in favor of the French. So the French are still going to put up a glorious fight here. But again, they only have 15 minutes left. And look at that. The Prussians are falling back, guys. They're falling back. Now, here's the thing. They don't need to take this settlement. This settlement right here, they don't need to take it. Let the French hold on to that because it's all about who has the most points at the end. And so far, let's see. They're still fighting over here. The cav just still waiting. This is going to be a tricky situation. I think he's getting his general out of there. He's trying to get Wellington out of there. Because this unit, all he has to do is form square, and they're fine. This is a pretty elite unit, so yeah, they can form square. So yeah, I mean, they've got all the points in the center. They control all these regions. They've got this building here. So that's 1. And then they're going to have 2 here. And then they'll have 4 over here, unless they can't defeat this unit. Okay, this is going to be interesting. If this unit can actually take this building, that's 4 points for Portugal. Oh, there they go. Get out of there, cav. Doesn't look like they get any kills there. Not a big deal. Let's go back over to the French line battle. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, what's going to happen is that the British alliance, they could easily just send a unit back to take this. You see on the mini-map, let me just send a unit from here, take this. That's 4 points. And then they have 4, 5, 6. And it'll be 6 to 5. 6 to 5 over here. But we actually see the general going in. So let me go back over there and see what's going on here. So Wellington went in there. Yeah, you just got to let him take it. You just got to let him take it because he just doesn't have the right troops here to protect it. And look at this massive force here just fleeing. All the troops. Look at it. Just look on the minimap. All the troops constantly falling back, repositioning and stuff. It's great. So back over here. Oh, jeez. Where's that? Oh, yes, the Prussians breaking. They try to break the French here, but the French hold on in the tree line. And now they continue to push forward. They're fighting the good fight, guys. And dang it, we gotta congratulate them for that. Tip my fedora in their general direction as they keep believing. They keep believing in the struggle. Now, I don't know. What do you think of this? The movement of this French force here. The fact that they dedicated so many troops on this flank. And sure, yeah, it caused some commotion, But do you think this force here would have been better off fighting over in the center lines over here, or for the, the critical buildings that they were fighting for? I would have just, I think this move was very aggressive, very sneaky, very cheeky, just a smart move. Well, not a smart move, but it's a move, right? I'm not saying it's a bad move, but I think it would have been better off to just kind of had more men over in the center to try to help hold against the Confederation of the Rhine. Because I just don't think he was aggressive enough over here on this flank. Just like nothing really came out of this. It was just a stalemate. Both forces just kind of holding for this one puny ruined building, which gets you 1 point. Now the French are having to fall back as the troops continue to advance. We still have some French troops in the tree line. They're trying to fall back. You are very slow in trees. That's why it looks like they're running in slow motion. Also, they are exhausted. So let's keep that in mind. Back over here, yeah, sure enough. Look at this. Portugal has taken the building. So they've got 4 points. 4 points. My question is, why are they not sending anyone over to take their own 4-point building? Why are they doing that? I don't know. But they need to, or they're gonna lose the battle. Unless they're just like fighting to the death, which I don't think they are, because what's the point of, Portugal holding on to this building for no reason? If they're fighting to the death, you might as well use that unit to go fight. The British are now sending over their 6 dragoons, this very famous unit that we've seen single-handedly win this battle so far. And the French now make their... Nope, they're still fleeing. Thought they were going to make their stand. The French over here, this is it, guys. This is their final stand here. So we're going to fast forward a little bit and just keep on. There's 10 minutes left in the battle. But so far, whoever has the most points, which would be the French alliance right now, because they do control that 4-pointer. Nobody controls this one. I guess technically they control this one too, so technically they have 5 points, but they don't have any troops in there. I might as well just throw in a unit in there to help hold. But more and more troops pouring in from the Confederation of the Rhine. The French still fleeing over here from the tree line, trying to regroup with their main forces. Look at that. They continue to be pushed back. I guess he's trying to maintain his flank here, but just not going to happen. Oh, wait, no, he does have units in here. Okay, cool. So that probably... No, never mind. I was going to say that probably means there's units over here. We just can't see them, but that's probably not the case. So let's head back here. Oh, wait, the French... Oh, wait, guys. The French are chasing down the Prussians, who are falling back to the building. You see that? They're falling back to the building. Are they going to get there in time, though? Because there's only 7 minutes. There's 7 minutes left. The French are making a push here, and they might try to capture the 4-pointer over here. That means they would have control of both 4-pointers and have 8 points total. Oh, no. Look at this. The British... Look, when there's 6 minutes left. And this isn't like 6 minutes of the replay. This is just because you play for an hour. Because most of the time these battles are so lengthy that they actually fight to the full hour. And then once the hour is over, it's whoever has the most points. So the British are actually sending over troops. Confederation of the Rhine. They're not going to... There we go. They took it. Yep. Okay. So that's probably the final hope there. The last hope of any kind of victory will be destroyed right here. Now the French are breaking, and I think it's safe to say that this battle is over. So I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward, guys, to the end results, and I'll meet you there. Alright, guys, here we are, and you can see this was sent in by Cohen. So thank you so much for the battle replay. This was a good one. So he got the most kills from his team, or compared to his team, but really great plays by everyone on this side. Same thing to the French alliance. All did pretty well, especially Portugal, man. I did not expect so many kills from him, but yeah, the French kind of struggled here a little bit against this great coalition here. Really fun battle. If we look at the stats here, this is the kills for the Prussian army commanded by Cohen. His dragoons getting a ton of kills. I wish we could see the kills of that 6 dragoon unit that was just all over the place. I'm sure it got a ton of kills there. If not, it got really critical, like important kills. Also, look how big his army was. Holy crap, these armies are huge. Look at that. Massive forces. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here for today. I hope you enjoyed this Napoleonic time period battle, and I hope to do more battles in the future. Maybe we'll see some like 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, you know, mix it up, maybe even some competitive 1 versus 1 battles. But if you enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe for more epic battles, and thanks for watching, guys. And I need to go get some water and have a lie down.